another post-cult worldview ride-along. This is episode 10, and I want to talk a little bit about the relationship between believers and non-believers. And I want to be a little more specific about that. When I say believers, I'm talking about theists, believers in a personal God. So religious people, and especially the truly pious or devout ones, those who are evangelical in nature, where they want to convert people. So Jehovah's Witnesses would fit well in this category. And when I say non-believers, I'm talking more about people who used to be believers but now no longer believe. So to put it in Jehovah's Witness terms, the question I am asking is, why can't Jehovah's Witnesses abide apostates? And in the bigger picture, why are so many believers put out by non-believers? I think there's a couple of reasons. The one that most readily comes to mind is this idea about persecution. A Jehovah's Witness feels that an apostate is persecuting them. And I think that there's a lot of that in bigger sects of Christianity as well, in evangelical Christianity, seeing that, atheists, for example, or anti-theists are, basically tools of the devil to persecute Christians and to mislead people. I think that that's built into the theology, and so that's a fairly natural reaction. But I think there's actually something deeper to it. There's a psychology that I think informs this theology. And that is basically existential panic. And what I mean by that is that for people who are really pious believers, people that are fundamentalists or who are in a cult, have so much of their identity wrapped up in this belief system that they can't comprehend their existence without it. So think about a non-believer, an atheist who used to be a believer, or an apostate who left the Mormon Church or the Jehovah's Witnesses or Islam. When you leave a religion and are happy and fulfilled, and you're saying that your old belief system didn't serve you and wasn't authentic, you are basically telling the believer that they have no reason to exist. You're challenging their very existence. Because they're so caught up in their belief being literally true that it's a terrifying thought to be confronted by the possibility that it's not. And on the surface level, they're not even aware of this, I don't think. I think it usually just comes out as indignation, anger, retaliation, name-calling. A typical name calling would be, you just want to sin, or you really know it's the truth. Or among evangelical Christians, deep down everybody knows that God exists and that Jesus is that God, or that the Christian God is the true God. We all know this because there's a scripture in Romans that basically says that, and that's a comfort to them to think that everybody really knows it, and those that say they don't are just lying to themselves. I feel these are all defense mechanisms, and much of it is written into the doctrine, actually in the Holy Book. But I think it's all a defense mechanism for this essential existential panic. The idea that we might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then my reason to exist is fake. None of this is real. Therefore, I'm not real. Now, of course, all this existential panic is unfounded. Those of us who identify as non-believers, who have come out of some form of evangelical or fundamentalist version of religion, we know that existence goes on. We have value. We had value as believers, and we have value now as non-believers. We contributed to good things when we were believers, and we contribute to good things now as non-believers. So I think that maybe the moral of this is to, as non-believers, find ways to talk to believers in a way that is non-threatening. This is part of the reason that I don't identify as atheist. Certainly not anti-theist. I'm not out there to attack somebody's beliefs, but I would like to show that my life has meaning without those beliefs. This will trigger a certain amount of existential panic in the person, but I think they'll be able to look at it in a more honest way and not have as much excuse to retaliate or be reactive, and cover over that question of could I live without these beliefs, not cover over that essential question with you just want to sin, or you deep down you know it's true, or you're working for Satan, any of that stuff. So those are my thoughts today. What do you think? What is the reason that there is such a hard time to have a meeting of the minds between believers and non-believers? Are non-believers just seduced by Satan and tools of Satan? Are believers all just deluded? Or is there some kind of middle ground here that we can work towards and figure out what the deeper existential thing is that makes us the same? You know, maybe we all just want to matter. That's all this is really about, and it's about finding a way to matter. And if we can just reassure each other that we all matter, regardless of what you believe or don't believe, maybe that's a better place to start. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.